Yes, sir. It's the 9 to 5 Sports Guys. It's your boy T.
It's your man TJ.
What's happening? It's your boy Nam.
And we back for season 3. I know the setup looks a little different. You know, we had a little situation, but we back season 3. I just want to say, how you doing, fellas?
Hey man, what's going on, man? It's been a minute.
Man, I'm here.
But we persistent though.
Definitely. We want to start off with the first topic, okay? And the first topic is the NFL. Now, we didn't get a chance to do any episodes during the season, but we're finally here during the playoffs. First games was yesterday. You had Seattle, you had the Rams, and Jacksonville, and the Chargers. What are your thoughts on those two games?
Oh, Jacksonville is proven to be, way better than people let them out to be. I mean, granted, they had to come back, but they were down 27-0, and they came all the way back and scored 31 unanswered points. So, I mean, now they're going to say that the Chargers didn't have some guys and they were injured, but what team does it? It happens every year. So let's stop using the excuses of people being injured and putting the downfall on other teams for not playing great. They failed. They had players out there that make millions too. And they didn't come out there and they didn't make any stops. The same defense that was out there making the stops at the beginning was the same defense out there in the second half, and they blew it. So give credit to the Jaguars for going to the second round and sending the Chargers on.
Is Chargers head coach, is he getting fired?
I don't think so because
Ain't no
they did
way.
have a lot of injuries.
Ain't no way.
They did have a lot of injuries. I don't think
Ain't
he'll
no
get
way.
fired.
I mean, truth be told, they was talking about he was on the hot seat prior because he had one of their best receivers playing in the meaningless game the last week of the season. But
Right.
I honestly, he shouldn't get fired, but more than likely he's going to be the scapegoat.
Listen, if they're gonna fire my man and if they're gonna fire Lovie Smith after a season,
Oh, I mean, we know that was
why does he not get fired with all the talent that he had?
Lovey was
You're up 27.
Yeah.
Against a team that I don't know, without momentum, they're not in the playoffs.
I don't think you should.
You have the better talent.
Like when you in the first season, I don't think the head coach should be their scapegoat. Maybe you should do something like what Washington did because they didn't get rid of Rivera, but they got rid of the OC and DC. I mean, maybe you need to change up the play callers instead of trying to get rid of the head coach. Unless the head coach is the one with all the responsibilities of calling the plays for both sides. But with Lovie Smith, that was his first season, so that tells me it doesn't matter who you put in that coaching position in Houston, they're going to lose. They're gonna fail.
They was going to lose because but then they fired the coach that was right before him.
Exactly, and
he only had a year coaching experience, but I think Lovey, they just did that just to appease because remember there was a lawsuit. Brian Flores,
right?
The
That's
Rooney
right.
Rule and the Flores
So I think
controversy and stuff.
they did that just to, quiet the noise, knowing that Lovey had no chance of keeping that job.
Well, nobody in America wants that job.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
That's just like nobody wanted that job in Jacksonville for a long time either. You know what I'm saying? But it just takes the right coach to bring in the right players.
So you guys wouldn't, if you're the Chargers organization or the front office, you wouldn't go out there and try to interview Sean Payton or Harbaugh or
I would.
Dungy maybe.
I mean, you go through you do the process.
Yeah.
You do the process, but if you really gung ho on that coach and say, well, let's give him a chance, but you gotta remember Mike Williams and what's his name, the number 13,
Keenan Allen.
right? Keenan Allen. They haven't been on the field together. So
Yeah.
what could have been what could have been great? I mean, they had a bunch of linemen that were hurt.
But that's my point here. You have Justin Herbert to me is the Drew Brees of this era. If we have Mahomes and Allen and Lamar, he is in that conversation in the Drew Brees as far as like Peyton, Brady, Eli, Big Ben. He is in that top 5.
He doesn't like
ranking
Big Ben.
of the era.
Yeah.
He has the arm. He has the whereabouts, and he knows how to command a team. He's very poised. So you gotta take advantage of his talent at an early age, as opposed to later, like some of the other quarterbacks.
I will say though, if you got a Sean Payton out there, Super Bowl winning coach, he's been with the same quarterback, different team for a long time. It doesn't hurt to test the waters, but it looked like Denver might get him.
But if you're Sean Payton, do you want to go to that? Do you want to go to Denver?
Broncos County, let's ride.
Do you want to
I mean, Denver has potential because, granted, they got Russell Wilson, they got some receivers that was hurt, they got Judy, they had another receiver that was hurt. The defense is not bad, even though their record look bad.
No, it's
You know
all
what I'm saying?
bad.
They're not
horrible.
bad.
That place is on fire, bro.
But
Now, one of the things I heard out of Denver was that Russell Wilson had his own office. What are y'all thoughts on Russell basically? Now, I heard through the grapevine, because I know some people that said that in order to get, I don't know how true it is. It was just something that was said that in order to get in contact with Russ, you gotta speak to his people to get in contact with him. That's like me going Hollywood, and in order to get in contact with me, you gotta holler at my peoples.
I don't think Russ has done that much to have that much command.
Absolutely.
especially with a new team.
Russ and Eli are here to me.
That's tough because as
I don't know about that one.
Let's be honest.
I don't know about that one.
Both of their careers were built on the backs of great defenses and momentum.
yes, I agree, but people sleep
Russ
on Eli.
makes a little bit more of plays because of his elusiveness and
Yeah,
him getting out
yeah.
of the pocket. But
But
all in all,
I would say
their
Eli's
talent level is the same. They're both poised under pressure, but the defense has carried them to their championship runs every time.
Well, Russell Wilson has extended a lot of plays versus Eli Manning not having an offensive
Okay.
line.
I was about to say,
so
talent-wise-
I can't say that.
Fine. But what Russ does with his legs, Eli had that in receivers. Big, talented
I
receivers.
give you that. I
Right.
give you that.
Russ didn't have big, talented receivers. He just ran with his feet and created time for his receivers.
Yeah.
Which makes the difference.
Yeah, look, Russ.
That's why I said they're here. What one lacks, the other one makes up, and what the other
Yeah.
one lacks, they make up. But what they have in common is these defenses.
I give you that. I give you that. But as far as that situation, if you're Sean Payton, you look at the Chargers.
Denver.
Denver, yeah, you can try to try to fix Russ if that, whatever the case is with Russ, because he's not getting along with his teammates. It's like they brought in Nathaniel Hackett. That didn't work. that was a mess. But can we give some credit to Pete Carroll, because what he did
Absolutely.
with Geno Smith?
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
And being a Jet fan, I seen Geno when he first got in the league to Geno now, and I couldn't stand Geno. Just his attitude, his body language, everything. And I'm watching the game yesterday, and I'm like, that's a completely different player.
Yeah.
I'm actually rooting for him. You know what I mean? So, Pete Carroll definitely showed the power of good coaching. You get the best out of your players, because we all thought, and it still is, a rebuilding year.
Technically.
Yeah, they gave up the picks and everything,
Yeah.
and then they got the 5th overall pick from Denver.
Yeah.
So they're rebuilding. Plus, you might have your quarterback for the future, or you might just draft somebody.
Right.
But
So can we?
you have enough talent to make noise for 2-3 years.
yes,
You're gonna at least get in the wild card spaces.
So based off of Geno in his 10th year being with Seattle, his first year and becoming a Pro Bowler,
Mhm.
do we say that Geno was a bust, or he was just put on a bad team with the Jets?
Yeah, he was in a bad situation. I'm gonna say it's 50-50. Being a Jets fan is that Geno's attitude and the way he played, it was one of the things that stuck out to me when Geno was first drafted is he was a 2nd-round pick, and he made a lot of noise saying, I should have been a 1st-round pick. I'm all for confidence.
Right.
And we're
Just
gonna
not arrogance.
we're gonna talk about confidence in another sport, Ja Morant, later on. But I'm all for confidence. But if you have confidence, but then you step on the field and your play is not the same, it is, you gotta humble yourself sometimes. So I think his journey throughout this whole process has kind of humbled him, and now he's like he said earlier in the season, they try to write me off, but I ain't right back.
He's just a late bloomer.
Yes.
Just like Julius Randle. It just took him time to develop, find his niche,
Yes.
find the right system, the right coaching.
The right coach is definitely what you
the
need.
right
Yes.
environment for him to just thrive in,
Right.
as opposed to like the New York market where it's like, yo, you have to stand tall and be this overly confident person, even though you may not be quite ready for that space yet.
Some players are built just differently. No matter who the coach is, they're gonna thrive. A la Michael Jordan.
Well, those are superstars. Those
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
those are
yeah.
legends. You know,
No
they just
matter-
have it.
The
Yeah.
it factor is
Yes.
there.
Right,
No matter who
right.
you has as your coach, who you have as your coach, you're gonna stand out. But
Right.
some players need coaching.
Yeah, some
That's
players
why
you
it's
gotta
essential.
groom
Yeah,
early or in the off season or
Right.
even in the media
yeah,
room, whatever.
yeah. Like Drew Brees. Drew Brees was thrown away by the Chargers. He gets to
Sean
New
Payton,
Orleans.
New Orleans, the
and now-
culture, the environment,
Exactly.
and all of a sudden,
I think he broke
has
his
a top
arm or
5.
something when he was
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
Chargers.
shoulder.
something like
Shoulder,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know this is controversial, but who's to say? We'll never know. Obviously, Tom Brady, under the coaching under Bill Belichick, I think they work perfectly, together. You had Peyton Manning. I think he could have played with any coach because he was just
And he
Peyton.
did.
Yeah, so coaching plays a huge factor when it comes to certain players. Speaking of that, back to the Jets, we have a quarterback that is just he's broken.
Hold on. Before we go to our teams, we forgot about the other game,
Which one?
the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. Well, that
Listen, I think the 49ers are the team to watch. They
Yeah.
are on that Eli Manning run where you just plug anybody in there. That defense is crazy. The run game is amazing. CMC, they have whatever that it is in the playoffs, that momentum,
yeah.
you can see it.
I would say
All year, any quarterback you throw in there, they're just
Can we?
they're
Is that
rolling.
Shanahan? Is that?
I say
it could be the culture, it could be the locker room, but they have it.
Yeah.
well was the 49ers always have a defense. Even before Kyle Shanahan got there, they had a defense because they had a defense with Harbaugh as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So they keep a good defense, good linebackers, and definitely a good front four. They
Mhm.
do keep that. They keep cornerbacks. Chris McCaffrey make a big adjustment to that team. I mean, granted, people can say he's not, but that guy made
It's a
that
difference
team
maker.
better.
He's a difference maker.
Debo Samuel, come on, makes the team better. The man had 133 yards yesterday.
Christian and Debo are one and the same.
Yeah.
just
They're both
one is
running
just taller.
backs,
That's
they're
all.
both
Slot.
receivers.
Yeah.
You can put them in the
Right.
slot. You can put them anywhere.
Now, what's his name? Brock Purdy. I'm trying
Poise.
to tell you, man. Even though they
Poise.
had Garoppolo, even though they got Trey Lance,
Poise.
this
That's all
guy
I can
and
say.
Mullen, they had to do Mullen.
Yeah,
This guy looks different than those three.
man.
Is
He- he
Purdy is he cashing in each game and possession?
I
He-
think
he's
he'll be
the
the
real
starter
deal.
next year.
He's the real deal.
I
Now,
think he'll be the starter.
this is a hot take. I know people are going to say, is he the modern day Tom Brady? I'm not
No,
saying on that level.
He was the last pick, wasn't
Just
he?
modern day. Yeah, he was the last
Yeah.
pick in the
Yeah,
draft.
he was the last pick of the draft.
I mean, as far as last pick, yeah, you can say that, but I think that might go to
he
Joe
has
Burrow.
the Brady poise too in the big moments. He doesn't panic. He
Man.
runs.
I
He-
think Joe
he
Burrow
puts
might
the
be
ball
that
on the
dude.
money.
Or-
I mean Joe
or-
Burrow too.
Yeah.
Is Brock Purdy a product of his environment? Is he a product of a good team? Because Jimmy G looked good. We
Yeah,
have
but
yet
Jimmy
to see.
G, but Jimmy G can't throw past 15 yards, so I can't give him
He
that.
doesn't have a strong accurate arm
right.
downfield.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy, he got 335 yards last night, and he's just launching the ball.
Yeah. I
Running
mean,
around, poised. Like I can't say that enough, man. I really like him. I think
Right.
he is a top 5, top 10 talent if he
Right.
stays healthy
Okay.
with that defense. I would start him next year.
Yeah, that's gonna be some controversy because they're gonna get rid of Jimmy G.
I'm trading Jimmy G for assets.
Right.
And I'm keeping Trey
No, I
Lance in
think
the-
I
in-
think
in
Jimmy
the
G's a
clutch.
free agent because I think
It's 1 year, right?
He's a 1 year deal. He had a 1 year deal, so he's gonna be a free agent.
Regardless.
He's gonna be able to pick wherever he wants to go. Now, what do you do with Trey Lance because you invested so much in
Put him-
Trey Lance.
We'll have to-
Put him in the back.
Yeah, we got to keep him. I mean, he's going. He's
Groom him.
already doing the backup position anyway behind Garoppolo, so it's not like you have to convince him to do that. I mean, he coming off an injury. Purdy got the hot hand. Hey, I mean, you have to get with the program. But basically, that's what the NFL is. I mean,
That's gonna be tough, man. I mean,
I'm going with the young kid.
I'm riding with Purdy, man.
okay.
I'm riding
Okay.
with Purdy.
Now we got 3 games slated for today. We have Miami and Buffalo. Both teams has had a crazy
Season. Yeah.
season. We can start with
Injuries, concussions, and all types
we'll
of
start
things.
with Miami. Miami, what are your thoughts on Tua, the concussion? Should he come back? Should he retire? Give me your take on what y'all think he should do as far as that.
As far as health, I think he needs to do the Luke Kuechly route. Give it a couple of, maybe 1 year, 2 more years. If you keep getting these concussions, you got to walk away.
Those that don't know, explain what happened with Luke Kuechly.
So Luke, his first couple of years, he had a bunch of concussions.
Yeah.
And then he was fine for a while. And then later in his career, after our Super Bowl run or whatever, he started having a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And he just decided to walk away at 28, 29,
Yeah.
which is unheard of. Somebody
Yes.
at the peak of his prime.
They may have to put that thing on his neck like Luke had.
I
So
don't-
I think that was monitoring his
Yeah,
concussions.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
monitoring the hits, but it's his style of play. There's no way to avoid it.
Yeah, because he's
He's a
hitting.
runner.
He's hitting. Oh, you talking about Tua or
Tua and Luke.
Luke? Yeah, because Luke was hit. He was
Hit.
hitting people.
Yeah, he was hitting.
120 tackles a game or
Yeah.
a season is crazy. Tua is the same way. He's always out of the pocket, design runs. That's his nature. That's his style of play.
Do you blame that on the coach or do you blame it on the offensive line? Somebody's
I
calling those
just,
plays.
I mean, honestly,
Just
I
dumb
just
luck.
think it's a dumb luck. Yeah,
Dumb luck.
because the first and the Dolphins try to pull a 52 fake out okey doke on us.
Yeah.
The first time he got concussed, if you're watching the play, he gets up and he stumbles.
Yeah.
They try to package it and tell us that it was something was wrong with his leg or something.
Nah.
I've never been a doctor, don't got my PhD, but you could clearly see when something is not right.
Right.
Right? And his head and you said it perfectly, dumb luck. It seems like every time he hits the ground, it's the back of his head hitting the ground. And we saw it in Cincinnati when
And
he
then
went to
throughout
Cincinnati.
the game, you see his performance.
Yes.
Is terrible.
Yes. And
Just
even
bad reads, bad throws, things like that. And it's like there's no way he's 100%.
Yes,
Y'all
yes.
keep him in there.
and then the Cincinnati game, that was scary because he his head hit the back of the
Is that the one where his
his hands,
Yeah.
and shame on everybody that was joking around that time. I saw
Well,
some
no,
memes that was
Black
that was-
Twitter is unforgiving.
that was out of pocket, but that's a tough call, man.
And since we talking about this matchup too, give a shout out to Darvin Hamlin, man. The guy got released from
for
the
sure.
hospital.
For sure, yeah,
and,
yeah.
Sure.
He's with went and visited the team, and I mean that's inspiration enough just to say anything. It's more than about life than it is football.
Yeah, and I commend everybody that came together and said a prayer and was showing support, whether you a fan of the Bills or not. Just like you said, this is bigger than football. The human element.
Right.
I think he should take a step back, like Shazier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean I hate to say it.
And I hope they pay him throughout the rest.
Yeah,
of
they're
his
gonna
contract.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
honor that.
they already confirmed. They said they're gonna pay him
Good,
whatever
good.
he's owed on his contract.
Yeah,
He-
just be that motivational
Yeah.
standpoint for the rest of the team.
Yeah, because Shazier, for those who don't know, played for Pittsburgh, and at one point he was paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
paralyzed,
Yeah.
but he's walking now, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that was another scary moment. See, football is one of them sports, man. You never know, and if you was watching the game, you saw the play was a routine hit, routine tackle. It just the way his I forgot who the receiver was.
Well, when he hit him, his head kind of went back and his back got bent.
And he hit
Shazier, and so
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, it was an awkward hit when he got hit. So
Oh no,
When
I
he
was
made the
talking
hit.
about Hamlin. I
oh,
was talking about Hamlin
Yeah,
when
it
he
was
got
just
hit.
routine
It was a
and-
routine hit,
And just
and
It
you
just
know
his helmet hit
whatever
him in the
reason.
chest.
chest, yeah. but he's feeling better. Yeah, I got Buffalo winning that game. I got Buffalo winning that.
Yeah, Buffalo can win that game. It could go both ways because it's a divisional matchup, even though it's in the playoffs. I mean, it could go both ways. Josh Allen sometimes is you don't know. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, you know he can run the ball. You know he's a big guy. You know he can run over people. But like I say, at the same time, the postseason is faster than the regular season. We don't know what could happen. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars last night. Everybody had the Chargers winning that game, even though Jacksonville was at home.
Listen,
So
at one point I think the score was 27-0.
27-0.
27 at the half.
At half. This guy threw, and it's funny because I don't know if y'all heard the sound, but Trevor Lawrence went to the bench and you know the coach is like, "What are you doing? You throwing all these picks?" He said, "Well, the guy was open." He said, "Well, he's on the other team. He was just throwing picks everywhere.
Yeah.
You get a pick. You get a pick."
Yeah.
They had Asante Samuels looking like Deion Sanders out there.
Yeah.
Asante Samuels Jr.
Granted, he's good though.
No, he is, but I mean, Trevor. I think the moment kind of got to him early.
Nervousness, butterflies.
That second half, he calmed down.
You all right?
You know, he probably was watching Remember the Titans, Sunshine.
Probably watch his whole highlights at Clemson.
Sunshine.
He was watching Sunshine for Remember the Titans. He calmed down, and then he was like, "All right, cool." But that's also, like we said, coaching. Listen, and he stuck with him.
Yeah, he didn't bench him.
He didn't bench him.
He didn't start
He just said,
running
"Listen,
the ball. He just said, you know what, keep throwing.
And who's his backup?
Who knows?
who knows?"
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Who
you know?
Who knows?
Who knows? But that's a credit to Jacksonville. Start off the season, I think 1-6, 1-7.
Yeah.
Came back, won the division. You can't say nothing. You know, I can't even remember. Has there ever been a game that was like 27-0, 28-3, anything like that?
There was a game.
There
like
was
that
a game
before,
like
but
that? What?
I don't know why you
I
acting
think it
like
was
you
in a
don't
big-
know.
I think it was on a grand stage.
It was a
Look,
bigger moment.
So
though, right?
stage.
I just want to state this for the
It
last
was a
time.
Sunday, wasn't it?
I think it was a Sunday.
I just
It
want-
was a Sunday.
Super Bowl
Super Bowl.
Sunday?
Super Bowl. Yeah.
I
Super
just
Bowl
want to
Sunday.
state this for the
Yeah,
last
Super Bowl Sunday.
time that no lead is safe in professional sports. I don't care what you have. You know, Matt Ryan proved it with the Colts again and having 33-0.
No lead is safe with Matt Ryan. I think that we come
Yeah.
to that conclusion.
I think we narrow it down even further.
Well, it just doesn't matter. I mean, it was so many comebacks. It's been so many comebacks, whether it be postseason or regular season. It's like you can't fall asleep on another team.
You can't.
just because you have
can't.
33 points.
Matt Ryan is determined to be in history.
Yes.
Well, he's in it for the
Even
wrong
if
On
it's
the
reason.
on the wrong side of history.
Turbid.
Real quick, Matt Ryan, phenomenal career. He's probably gonna wrap it up after this season.
Good.
Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
He will.
Eventually.
His numbers will get him in there.
Eventually.
Okay.
Cam gets in before him though.
We'll see.
Okay. Baltimore, Cincinnati. We are those that may not know because we haven't been doing episodes all season. Lamar Jackson is at the end of his contract. He's looking for, a guaranteed deal. Something along the lines of Deshaun Watson, which we will speak on. Also, Deshaun Watson got a deal for $230 million guaranteed. Fully guaranteed. I think the highest in NFL history.
Right.
So Lamar is looking for something along that line, and
Which he deserves.
Baltimore is
I agree.
they kind of like on the fence of trying to get him the money. Do you think? Well, you just answered it, but I'm gonna ask that question anyway. Do you think he deserves it? Do you think he deserves more than Deshaun, or like what?
Well, I mean, the cap goes up every year. So
True.
why shouldn't he get more? I mean, you're going to get more every year. So he's been playing. Granted, he has an injury, but who doesn't get injuries? It's how you come back from it. Now,
Yes.
we want to base the money off of his play already.
Yes.
And I think he deserves that money because Baltimore wouldn't have gotten anywhere without him. You've seen the last 5 games been garbage basically without him. Even though Huntley's been in the game, Huntley's not Lamar Jackson.
No. He's not.
Lamar's play up until this season has proved it every year.
Exactly.
He has MVP, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, 3 years?
Yeah.
Out of the 5 that he's
Right.
been there.
Right.
And the talent level that he has around him and what he does with that lack of talent
Yeah.
and still in the playoff conversation is
Right.
incredible. The only reason they're not trying to pay him is because he's probably injury prone, and his playing style could cut that career short. But he deserves it. Pay him.
You see, that's one of those moments where I blame the coach.
Pay him.
I blame the coach. Yes, he has the ability to move with his legs, but why not utilize his arm? It's not like he can't throw.
To
He
what?
throws accurate.
To what?
So,
What does he have to throw to?
I mean,
I think that's what the front office is scared of too. As far as if we give him all this money, where do we find the talent to pay?
But see, that's the problem.
But they could have said
they,
that-
They could have did that.
yes,
They could have did that his first couple of years when you didn't have to
right.
pay
Put
him.
talent around him.
Miami
Yeah, but
got Tyreek.
They invested in the defense.
I mean, it
Remember?
is a defensive minded
They invested
team
in
because
that-
they've always
in that-
had a
in that
defense.
front four
Yeah.
and the linebacker core. Up until they had to, they couldn't spend no more money on what's my man that went to the Patriots, Judon. They couldn't pay him.
Yeah.
They couldn't pay somebody else. One of the linebackers, Ferguson. They had to let a lot of the team go because they're looking ahead and say, okay, Lamar is coming up. What are we gonna do? But
Yeah.
they're trying to convince him take less so we can give this here. And I'm not going.
I'm
for
not
that.
going to
Nah.
do that because I
ain't
I
going
put
for
my time in. You tell
Yeah.
me to take less for
Pay
somebody
me.
that you're going to potentially grab, and we don't know if they're going to
Pay
be able to
me.
produce.
And the
Pay
funny
me.
thing is, for anybody that's saying that Lamar should take less, how about you go to your job? They offer you a more money, but then say, you know what? You should take less for everybody else. Nah, you're not going to do
Yeah,
that.
take-
So you can't expect him to, because he's looking for generational wealth. So you can't expect him to do that. He wants his money. He feels like he deserves it,
And he do deserve it.
and
I mean,
I'm
agree with that.
all for it. I'm all for it.
To be honest, I feel like let's be real. If it wasn't a contract year, I think he's playing.
Oh yeah,
I think he'll tape up or
He's going.
get shots, whatever he got to do to get on the field.
He's going to thug
But
it out.
being that it's a contract year, they've been playing with his numbers. He's gonna sit it out like the Derrick Rose, the Jeremy Lin when there's contract years. I'm gonna
Yeah.
chill, cause if I go out and I look bad, now I don't have leverage.
Now that yep.
Look, Baltimore prepared for this. They had the same issue last year. You know, he knew their contract year was coming up. They knew what was going on. And let's be real. I mean, Lamar Jackson's been the greatest Baltimore Raven quarterback they ever had.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't say Ty Detmer. We can't say Joe Flacco.
Couldn't
I mean,
name anybody better.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So, I mean, why not give a man that's giving his
Name
all?
anybody better.
Why not? I mean, he's brought attention to the game. Be honest, because since Ray Lewis left, I mean,
Would it be a surprise if he walks, or if he entertains the idea?
it
of
wouldn't
walking?
surprise me
What
because he has been linked to us.
Let's say he
He's
ends
been
up
linked
in
to us,
Green
too.
Bay too.
Yeah, well,
Well,
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
probably
Rodgers
franchise
is
him.
gone. Let's be real. Rodgers is gone. What if he goes to Green Bay or somewhere else?
I mean, what if they let him go and then Baltimore picks up Aaron Rodgers?
Somebody's gonna give him that money.
He's gonna get paid.
Yeah.
gonna
I
get
mean, what's crazy is
Somebody
that
with a lot of cap space.
Chicago has a lot of cap space,
Well, they're number one. We're number two, and because we'll have about $80
and they have the
million.
number one pick,
Yeah,
so they can
they can actually
swap that. Like, yo, here, take this,
take Justin.
and yeah,
Yeah,
it's cheaper. You
I'll
still,
take
you still
Justin.
got him in a rookie deal.
I'd take Justin Fields.
real quick, we're gonna take a quick break. And we'll be right back.